Welcome back to Investing Talk podcast. Today we're taking a close look at ACHR Aviation. They're an electric vertical takeoff and landing aircraft developer, really aiming for that urban air mobility market. You've shared a few key pieces, a due diligence report, a financial and market outlook, and also a stock analysis. Quite a bit to work with. Our goal here is to understand what's really going on with ACHR. What makes them interesting? What are the key things we should be watching? And maybe what might surprise us. Okay, let's get into this.
Happy to. It's certainly a company generating a lot of discussion. If we start with the financials, the first thing you notice is, well, they're very much pre-commercial. That roughly, $0.3 million in Q1 2025 revenue. That's mostly from things like defense prototypes, flight testing. It's not significant commercial revenue yet, so no real growth trend there, which is expected at this stage.
Right, and that early stage also explains the losses they're reporting, doesn't it? Although the Q1 loss per share, near 1,000 cents, was actually a bit better than analysts thought it would be, around $1.19 maybe. A small positive sign, perhaps.
It was, yes. And the projections for adjusted EBITDA losses, somewhere between $95 and $120 million for early to mid 2025, that lines up with the heavy investment phase.
And obviously, with negative earnings, talking about a price-to-earnings ratio doesn't make much sense right now.
Not really, no. But a really important point on the financial side is their cash position. They reported $408 million at the end of the last period. Considering they don't seem to have a lot of debt relative to equity, that $408 million is a pretty substantial buffer.
A cushion to fund operations and development.
Correct. Of course, free cash flow is negative. That's unavoidable when you're pouring money into R&D and building manufacturing facilities. And return on equity is, well, negative or negligible because of the net losses.
Okay, so the financial snapshot is pre-revenue, burning cash as expected, but with a solid reserve. Let's shift gears then. What about their business and their position in this whole new industry?
Their core competitive advantage hinges on their eVTOL technology. They're betting on it for urban air mobility. Key strengths they point to are their progress towards FAA type certification. They're hoping for that in the second half of 2025.
That's coming up relatively soon then.
It is. And their manufacturing facility in Georgia is apparently nearly ready. It could have a capacity of up to 650 aircraft a year. Plus, there's this pending cost-sharing production deal with Stellantis that could be quite significant if it gets finalized.
Stellantis, the auto giant. That would be a major manufacturing partnership.
It would definitely add industrial scale.
So they're positioning themselves at the front edge. Where do they actually stand today compared to others trying to do the same thing?
I'd classify them as an emerging challenger right now. They're making progress, but they still need that crucial FAA certification and haven't started commercial flights. So they're definitely still in that critical development and validation phase.
In the wider industry context, what trends could help them or maybe hold them back?
Well, the push for sustainable urban transport, that's a big tailwind. Regulatory support for zero-emission vehicles helps too. But the hurdles are significant. FAA certification for these completely new types of aircraft, it's complex. Delays are always possible.
You hear about that a lot with aviation regulation.
Absolutely. And the capital required. It's immense before you even think about profitability. Supply chain constraints could also pop up and slow down manufacturing. Their defense partnerships offer some diversification, which is smart, but the main challenge is getting that commercial eVTOL service off the ground.
Paints a very clear picture of the opportunities and the challenges. How has the stock market been reacting to all this?
The stock's definitely seen some volatility over the past year. That's pretty typical for companies like this, pre-revenue but high potential growth. But the reaction to the Q1 2025 earnings was quite positive. The stock jumped over 25% on May 13th.
Wow, 25% in a day.
And it kept going in after-hours trading, climbed another 3% or so to $9.36. That really suggests investors are feeling optimistic about their progress and what's potentially coming next.
And what about Wall Street analysts? Are they generally on board?
The consensus seems to be a strong buy rating. The average price target is around $12.83.
Okay, so that implies quite a bit of potential upside from where it was trading after that jump.
It does, about 41% upside suggested by that average target. And the recent trading activity clearly shows increased investor interest.
Okay, so positive momentum, analyst optimism. Let's dig into why. What are the specific strengths people are pointing to, and maybe what are the red flags we need to keep in mind?
A key strength is being an early mover in this eVTOL space. It gives them a chance to build the brand, lock in partnerships. That strong cash position we mentioned, $408 million, is a big plus, provides runway.
Gives them breathing room.
And the Q1 results, beating EPS estimates and narrowing the net loss year over year, that's encouraging. The loss dropped about 20% to $93.4 million.
That's a noticeable improvement.
And their cash pile actually grew by nearly $200 million compared to the end of 2024.
Those all sound like solid points.
Yeah.
What about the flip side? The potential concerns or risks?
Well, despite the improvement, they are still losing a significant amount of money. That always raises questions about the long path to profitability and sustainability. Success is heavily dependent on getting regulatory approvals. That FAA certification for their Midnight aircraft is absolutely crucial, and it's not guaranteed on their timeline.
That's a binary event,
It
almost.
feels like it. And then there's market adoption. Will people actually embrace eVTOL travel widely? That's still somewhat unknown. Finally, relying on finalizing big deals, like the one with Stellantis, adds execution risk. They need that partnership to scale effectively.
Makes sense. Let's talk competitors. Who else is vying for this urban air mobility crown?
The reports mention Joby Aviation and Lilium as key competitors. They're also making strides. Archer seems to be trying to differentiate through strategic partnerships. We mentioned Stellantis, but also their link up with Palantir for AI-driven aviation solutions.
Palantir. Interesting. Using data analytics for efficiency.
That seems to be the idea. Leveraging AI for operations could be a real edge if they implement it well. Alongside that, their focus remains on getting certified and ramping up manufacturing.
Looking ahead then, what are the big milestones or events that could really move the needle for Archer, and what pitfalls should we watch out for?
Upcoming catalysts are pretty clear. Successful product launches, actually getting their eVTOLs flying commercially. Future earnings reports will be scrutinized for cost control and, importantly, the start of real revenue growth. Those 2025 estimates, $50 to $100 million, that'll be a key early test.
And the biggest catalyst of all?
Getting those regulatory approvals, especially FAA-type certification, that's paramount.
And the risks to keep an eye on?
Potential changes in aviation rules could always impact them. Broader market conditions affecting demand for air travel, even this new kind, is a factor. And, critically, the potential need for even more capital down the road. That $408 million is a lot, but launching a full-scale airline-like operation is incredibly expensive. They might need more cash before they're self-sustaining.
Understood. So, bringing it all together, what's the general feeling from analysts who cover Archer?
Overall, the view seems favorable, mostly because of the technology and the partnerships they're building, but the common recommendation seems to lean towards a hold right now.
A hold, despite the strong buy consensus rating you mentioned earlier.
Well, the consensus rating reflects the average target price potential, but individual analyst recommendations might vary. A hold suggests that while analysts see the long-term potential, they want to see more proof points first.
Like what specifically?
Like hitting those regulatory milestones, showing progress in manufacturing, and seeing how those initial revenue numbers look. They acknowledge the growth story, but want more confirmation before perhaps upgrading more broadly.
Got it. So for you, the learner, Archer Aviation presents this really interesting picture. You've got a company right on the edge, potentially changing how we get around cities with some cool tech and serious financial backing. But it's also facing all the typical challenges of a pre-revenue company in a field that's super regulated and needs a ton of cash. The recent stock jump and the analyst optimism show there's excitement, but the road to profit and widespread use is still a long one. Definitely keep an eye on those FAA updates and news about the Stellantis deal. Those will be huge clues about where they're headed. And this raises a broader question, doesn't it? What other emerging technologies that interest you are facing similar kinds of hurdles, regulatory market adoption, but also hold that potential for massive breakthroughs? It's worth thinking about how these early-stage innovators navigate such tricky paths. Thanks for joining us for this examination of Archer Aviation. If you found this insightful, please do subscribe, like, and comment. We appreciate the feedback.